There we go. Got the camera working now. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on the E-150 camper van. We're finishing up the install of all the, the inverter, DC-DC charger, and the battery in the back. Now we're getting to the wiring portion. So we'll just jump right in and kind of show you what I've been working on. So what we have is let's see here. Let's start off with this panel. So this has been a panel that it's not too complicated, but you might need to, if you're doing your own DIY van, you might need to build something like this. So this is a what's the name of this company? Precision Dynamics. So some of these parts are from a previous install that I didn't do, so I'm just kind of retrofitting them to my install for this customer. Progressive Dynamics, that's right. So this is a Progressive Dynamics power converter. The model number is PD4135K. And you've probably seen this in a couple of like RVs and motorhomes. So this is the box. And so you got 12-volt circuits here. And then right here, we'll be installing breakers for, we're going to be reusing two of the old breakers and then putting a new one in. And so this breaker powers this board here. And then one breaker is going to break out for the two outlets in the van. One outlet powers the 110-volt fridge. The other outlet is just like an outlet beside a bed for, charging your cell phone or something like that. But I cut this piece of Baltic birch out here as just a frame. So essentially it's just a frame to hold this in place. And yeah, so what this van had in it before was a lead acid battery back here, 1,000-watt modified sine wave inverter, and everything just really didn't work. So you guys can watch the other two live streams to kind of catch up on that. But what we're doing right now is we're ready to start assembling things together. And so this is going to go right here. I'm going to bolt the panel, not the panel in completely. I've just got that held in by 2 bolts. But I'm just doing this to get everything squared up. And then we'll kind of go from there. Trying to get this van as square as possible with everything. It's been a little challenging. But I think this is a really good video for you guys because if you're doing just a very entry-level build, these last 3 videos are perfect for you. I mean, this is a very, very basic, simple setup. Nothing scary here. I know that this inverter looks really big, but it's a 2,000-watt inverter. The reason it's so big is because it takes in shore power from an external shore power plug at 30 amps. And then what that does is it will actually charge the lithium battery when you have it plugged up to shore power. So there's a 2,000-watt inverter in here, but there's also a charger, and that charger is what makes the bulk of this. That's why it looks big. It is big and heavy. So we got two 2x4s. The bottom one is sheet metal screwed into the chassis of the van, and then the top is tied into this bed frame, which was actually built really well. So I'm confident that this is nice and safe. If it looks a little overdone, this is just really heavy, and you want to have something to where if there's ever an accident, that this is not going through under the bed. Same as where the battery is. I've got, if you can, I think the internet went down for a second. Oh man, come on. Technical difficulties. Come on. Technical difficulties. All right, we're back. Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna square up this back piece. I really wanted to take this out, but the budget and plan for this build was basically just to replace the battery and the inverter with a new battery and inverter. It wasn't really meant to do all this framing. I just couldn't see not doing all this framing. So. So to get this in here, we're using truss head screws. Not wood screws, but this wood is really soft. And we're just gonna be really careful. So we don't want to split any of this. I would redo this whole section again. It's not scope of project. Basically what we did with the budget that she's working with is we took, instead of making a fancy frame and everything, we went through and focused on the components. So we're using some really nice components, entry-level components. Renogy, inverter, DC to DC charger, all that good stuff. So I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to go and get some, if you are going to 2x4s, sometimes it's really soft, and I found that Craig screws are excellent. So you get the coarse style Craig screws. They've got a really nice, it's almost like a little mini drill bit slit, and it cuts into the wood. And then the let's see here, there you go. The coarse screw will grab onto that soft wood really well. Okay, so now we got our panel mounted. That thing is nice and secure. The last panel we'll do is one back here. We won't do anything on top. We'll keep that because this right here closes, comes down. So really, this middle support, the bed frame really supports the whole entire bed. So when this comes down, I just kind of wanted to have this doing its thing. So something like that. And then what I'll do for this panel is down here at the bottom, we'll have some 2x2s, and that'll give us something to screw into. So we'll probably have another one coming up here at the top, going across. So we'll probably have just like a little frame. And then the disconnect. So we got about almost a 300 amp hours worth of power. So we've got this 300 amp rated disconnect switch, which should show you that the little ones that you see on Amazon, double check that they can take the amperage that you have that can potentially go through it. So this is rated for easily 300 all day. So yeah, so something to think about. Okay, I wanted to put the disconnect switch where the door shut, which is right here, but this is, it's not gonna work. So it's gonna have to go right here, like that. So I'm probably gonna put this here. I'll make that panel, but yeah, this video is mainly wiring. So we're gonna get started on that. The first thing we do is we have this. This is a anything that the previous installer did. I've just been kind of double checking, making sure that I think it's safe. Got to be careful. Some will make black positive, some will make white positive. So you just got to really make sure that you're working with the correct one. So these two wires will go on the battery terminals. They supply this power box with power for the 12 volt side. I mean for the, there's like a fan inside that cools that unit. And they had a bunch of like wild copper connectors and stuff like this, so I went ahead and just kind of ripped all this out. And so this, I haven't found out exactly what it goes to, but I think this is the, I'm not going to reconnect this, but this is the solenoid switch that controlled the solenoid activated DC to DC charger that was essentially the engine battery directly connected to the lead acid in the back. So if you wanted to charge it via the engine, you'd flip a switch, and this would power that switch. But we're going to do away with that, and I'm just going to toss it over here for now. So we've got two monitors. One is the battery voltage monitor, and this one works off of a shunt that we'll install down here in a second. But these two we're probably going to install maybe over here, because when she does use the van, she's only going to either have this inverter on continuously to run the fridge continuously, or it's going to be off. So it'll be on continuously when she's traveling, because if this turns off, then the fridge turns off. So this is pretty much going to be on the whole time when she's traveling. So we'll do that. All this stuff up. And so here's our breakers. So we got a dual pole for the outlets. She also had a bunch of holes in the floor, so I've covered them up. There's one more hole back here. There's two holes back here that I need to seal up. I'll do that very last. I have no clue where those holes came from or what they went to, but they're there. We also have some Romex cables, so I do not advise having Romex in the van, but for this one, we're keeping it. Gonna make sure that it doesn't get kinked up or messed up, so we'll place it in here nice and neat. But as long as it's not moving, and maybe you're doing like a retrofit on a used van you bought, it's okay, because I know marine grade wire is expensive. Marine grade wire is what you're supposed to use. You're not supposed to use Romex, because the reason is Romex is not meant to be flexed back and forth a lot over time. And they say that the vibration will damage it over time. Even though it's not the correct thing to use, you know, I understand why people use it because of cost. So if you're going to use it, I'll try to show you the safest way, in my opinion, to have this wire installed in your van if you decide that's what you are going to do. But really, if you are going to install it, you really want to make sure that it is nice and flat and it's mounted into the van, so it doesn't move. If you have Romex, as long as it's not moving, that's the best case scenario for that. So this is not the final location of these wires. I'm just getting these in here so I can start mapping this out. So they have this. This has already been wired throughout the van for the rooftop AC. So we're going to use that one for that. This wire right here is for the refrigerator, and then this one is for the secondary outlet. So we'll be putting those in here. So any little nick in the wire, we're just going to double check, and then we'll just do a little wrap of electrical tape. And I've already checked this one. It's just in the outer housing, or outer piece of it. So the inside is good to go. I do like to straighten it out. Just have it go there as neat as possible. And then we're also going to keep some slack back here, just so it's not pinched at all. And I'm just going to, I'm mainly going to work on the 12 volt part, so I don't want this stuff moving. I just kind of want this to be where it's going to stay. Okay, so those are good to go. There's a shield that goes back here, and it has a built-in switch for the box, but the last one I installed, I believe we can plug in the on-off switch and we don't need the switch present, because I didn't have this. I didn't have room for the waterproof fittings that go back here on the last build I did, because I had this standing vertical. So I've left this off. So we'll double check and see if that's still possible for this install. Okay, keep on going. So this one I'm loosening so I can flip it upside down, so I can access it with the screwdriver. There we go. Okay, I think this is going to be able to sit right here just like that. And I'm hoping I'll be able to strip these off in the back, fold the excess off, and there's enough room back there to do that. But as much as you can cable manage as you go, because everything's just going to be nice and neat. Okay, so next part, we've already got the 12 volt battery mounted. You guys can't see it, but it's back here in the back. Let's see, can you see it back there? So that's back there. So I'm going to go and get the proper battery lug on here. So what we need to do is we're going from the negative side of the battery over here on the right. We'll have the B negative, so it'll be like this orientation. And then we'll have the P negative come out, and that is what will go to, that P negative is going to go out to our ground over here, and then it's going to come over and go to our inverter in here, that's what's using the power. Okay, so idea behind this is another piece of Baltic birch. I like Baltic birch when I can use it because it's extremely rigid. So you can do a less support with Baltic birch than you need for like sanded ply or something like that, some cheap stuff from Lowe's. But basically what we're doing is this is going to come in here with the controls. And so if we need to service anything, we can open it up like that. You know, check the connections or whatever, and then we can actually close it back. This will be, so we scribed this. So this is where the door, this is where this is going to be cut out, and then this will be cut out on the top. This is where our inverter is, so that's our clearance. So when we go to put in our disconnect switch, we know how much we can get away with as far as offsetting this. I'm going to put it back in and sketch this curve so I know how, so I don't go too far over. I was just going to leave this open, but if it's raining or something like that, I don't want her to get any of this stuff wet, because that would not be good. Yeah, so I got about a little over a quarter inch on each side to drill and cut that out. And so what'll be nice is we'll have kind of have this laid out like this. So that is, and we'll use a square and get all this stuff laid out. But just to give you guys a concept, 14 1/8. That's rough where that's going to be chopped off. And then we'll have so yeah, we'll have something like that. Over here on this door. Then we've also got a 1/2 inch on the bottom. We're going to make sure we don't go too low. Let's get this drilled out. So now we're installing the shunt over here, and so we just want to make a marking, just to make sure we get the B minus on the left, P minus on the right. As long as you hook it up correctly, that's fine. I'm just marking the piece of wood so that I don't have to take it out if I need to go back and reference what it was supposed to be. Okay, so we got that set where it's supposed to go. So next, we'll work on, let's get these cables ran. So this wire is the 12 volt sense wire for the shunt. I need a precision screwdriver for this one. So on this unit, I believe they're the same. Right there, you see where it says B positive on the top. We're going to put one of these wires in. This wire doesn't want to go in here. I soldered the end of this tip of the wire, and the wire is too big to go into the shunt, so I'm gonna have to modify it. Not sure why they did that. There we go. Come on. Okay, so I'm gonna redo this wire, put a ferrule on it because that's what I gotta do. They soldered the tip of it, but the problem is it's too fat to get into this little terminal up top here that it needs to go in, and we gotta fix that. So we got two tools. We got our ferrule crimper. Oh man, come on, this signal. Hold on, this camera is not being nice. 1 second, guys. Hold on, stay with me. Yeah, I'm not sure why that camera cuts off. Give me 1 second. All right, hold on a second. Let's try it one more time. There we go. Okay. Appreciate it. Okay, where were we? We are. Okay, so we got two tools. We got this ferrule crimper. Comes in a kit, bunch of different ferrules. Ferrules are used when you are having stranded wire that you need to make a positive connection into something like this, right here, like these little plastic pieces. You really don't want to put bare wire and then cinch it down because it's going to cut the wire and eventually this could break off. So we're going to take our little strippers here. We're going to do a nice clean cut and then we're going to come out. And if you want to be really technical about it, well, first, sometimes these lower cost parts, the outside of the wire is going to be way oversized, so you can't really come in here and say, oh, I think that this is the one that's right. So let's just go ahead and go long, okay? Strip this off, and then we'll twist it. Okay, so technically you could take this, put it in here, and then cinch it down. But what we're going to do is we're going to find the ferrule. These are super tiny. I'm going to find the right one. There is a chart that shows you, man, this camera, what is the deal? All right. I don't know if I can use the other camera, maybe. All right, this camera I think needs to, we need to work on it for a minute. All right, I'm gonna come back over here and hopefully this camera will capture what I'm working on. All right, so we got this, and we're going to take our ferrule crimping kit, and we're going to find out what size wire will fit in here. So the white one we chose is good. So what we're doing is we're making this piece. You guys can see this. We've got a little ferrule on the end of the wire. And then what you do is you kind of put it on here and you'll see the wire comes out the top. So we're going to snip that off and then we're going to put it into our crimper. So we're going to snip off the excess. Well, we can do it after we crimp it actually. So we'll put it in our crimper. And you can see what it does. It gives it a really nice crimp. So now we can cut off that excess. And now we get a lot of rigidity to actually pop this into our part right here. Well, at least that's the plan. I'm not sure why this thing is giving me so much trouble. It's so small. I don't remember it being like that the last time I installed it. Yeah, this shouldn't be this small. So I'm gonna have to take another precision screwdriver and like manually open this up. This should not be this hard. This is weird. Okay, it's in there, but this is what I'm gonna have to watch out for. If you see here, see we got a little bit of movement. The soldered pads on the inside, I don't know if you can see that. So those are not moving, so that's good. So it's just, but this is why you want to use a ferrule. So you can, so you see, my problem was that hole. So it shouldn't be, this hole right here should not be so, it should be way more open. This is all the way open. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll see if it works. If it doesn't work, it's just a battery monitor. It's not the end of the world. So if it messes up, I will order her another one and then I will reinstall it. So hold on, I'm gonna zoom out. There we go. And so let me get zoom back in over here. Yeah, stinks other camera's out for the moment. I'll get it fixed. Okay. So video might be a little low quality right now, but we will work on it. Okay, I think if the camera gets up to like 2 bars, then we can go from there. All right, this is the cable for the battery display. It's very long. You can mount it pretty much anywhere you want to in the van. I forgot exactly how long it is. If you do need an extension, there is a Amazon link or an eBay link that makes an extender for this. So I use that in my personal van, but what we're going to do here is just plug it into the back. Oh goodness. So now I just realized that the wire is sticking out too far. So that when this thing gets bolted down, the wire can't bend out of the way. Yeah, this thing's been a little pain in the butt. Which means I need to cut off a little bit. So I'm just coming over here and I'm just cutting off the amount that I need it to come forward. Okay, so here you go. So let's see, I had to bend the wire out of the way so then when this gets mounted flush, it's not in the way. Okay, good Lord. We've got both of those things done. All right. So now, set this here. All right, trying to move on to the fun part of these projects, which is just getting this stuff connected. Okay, so we're going to be working on all right, now we're going to go into our ground wire. So this is the negative, we're going from the negative terminal of the battery to the B negative of the shunt. We're using 4-aught wire and 3/8 inch. 3/8 inch is for the terminal. So you're going to want to, lay all this out ahead of time if you can. So 5/16 and 3/8 are your typical hole sizes for these battery terminal studs. So they're usually typically like an M8. So you are going to be going back and forth, you know, from a standard to a metric. So for this one, these shunts are usually rated for 500 amps. So because they're rated for 500 amps, they're going to be typically 3/8, which is really oversized. Well, no, I don't guess oversized for the voltage or the amperage, but it just makes it challenging to wire because it's really bulky. So what I do is I kind of mock up. I'll have this one here. So if you guys can see, we got the shunt. This is the B-. So if you go into your manual, this will be what is going to the minus side, the negative side of your battery. Shunts are not connected to the positive, only the negative. So I need to let my dog out. Give me 1 second. Come here. Go. All right, guys, I'm actually going to let this camera charge so you guys can get a better video here. I'm gonna grab some food and I'll be right back. But stay tuned. I'll come back tonight. We're gonna knock this whole system up, get it working, and we'll see you then.